Thank you, Lascan Corla. I will now update the House on the work that's been progressed to protect the continuity of the supply of medicines, transport connectivity between Ireland and both the UK and continental Europe. Firstly, as Minister for European Affairs, I want to focus on the EU's preparedness and contingency planning, which has provided the basis for much of our own domestic planning. Our biggest contingency measure is that we will still be a member of the European Union. We will still benefit from the protections and the privileges that this gives to our nation and to our people. The Commission's contingency planning has been developed in consultation with all Member States and with particularly close cooperation both on Irish-specific issues and on other issues which will impact Ireland most particularly. The Commission has published over 80 technical notes covering a range of sectors to support business, to support citizens in preparing for Brexit, and these are all available on the dfa.ie/Brexit website. In its contingency communications, which issued on the 13th of November and the 19th of December, the Commission outlined details of measures in a range of areas. These included financial services, aviation, road haulage, customs, climate policy, citizens' rights and data security. Ireland has received support and solidarity from the EU and our fellow Member States throughout this entire Brexit process and the negotiations. EU solidarity has been absolute from our fellow Member States, and in that regard we thank them. In fact, many of my colleagues have come from across Europe to Ireland and the border region to gain a better understanding of the issues that we face on this island. We have their full and unwavering support every step of the way. We are also working very closely, in particular, with Member States who face similar challenges to Ireland, such as France, the Netherlands and Belgium, including in relation to the use of the UK land as a bridge for goods moving to and from Ireland and continental Europe, in particular how goods can be processed as quickly as possible on arrival to the EU ports after transitioning through the UK. In terms of medicines, the Minister for Health, Simon Harris, this week outlined to Government a comprehensive and a coordinated set of preparations to ensure the continuity of supply of medicines and medical products in the event of a no-deal Brexit. Significant work has already been underway in the Department of Health with the HSE and the HPRA, together with industry, to try and minimise and address any risks to continuity of supply. The HSE and the HPRA have advised that the supply of a small number of medicines may be vulnerable for reasons such as possibly their short shelf life, special storage and transportation requirements, and possibly single supplier reliance. Plans are being made and progressed and implemented to protect the supply of critical medicines. The Department of Health, the HSE and the HPRA do not anticipate an immediate impact on medicine supplies should there be a no-deal Brexit on the 29th of March, and so I would say there is no need for hospitals, for pharmacists, for patients to order extra quantities of medicine, as in actually doing so, what you could do is disrupt existing stock levels, hamper the supply of medicines for their patients and unintentionally cause shortages. On Tuesday, the Government also received an update from the Minister for Transport, Tourism and Sport, Shane Ross, on the potential implications for the east-west transport connectivity with the UK and then the wider EU and international trading partners, again in the event of a no-deal Brexit. Our key focus at this time is on connectivity with the UK, on Ireland's resilience on the UK land bridge for some of €21 billion worth of trade with the EU. The Minister for Transport, Tourism and Sport has examined the maritime capacity for direct sailings between Ireland and continental EU ports as a potential alternative for trade that currently takes place using the UK land bridge. Based on consultations with the shipping sector and the wider stakeholders, the Minister's preliminary assessment is that sufficient capacity will be available on direct routes to continental ports from the end of March 2019. And should demand for further capacity arise, the shipping sector can respond quickly to meet such demands, and they have outlined this. It's welcome that as part of its own contingency planning, the European Commission have also proposed temporary mitigation measures to ensure basic connectivity for flights between the EU and the UK, as well as proposals to facilitate the continuation of internal road haulage between the EU and the UK. And again, this is in a no-deal scenario. Finally, our focus remains secured on agreeing the withdrawal agreement, but it is only prudent that we are in a parallel advancing our own no-deal preparations for the 29th of March. We are under no illusions that a no-deal Brexit is bad. It's a bad outcome for the UK, it's bad for the EU, and it is certainly bad for Ireland. Our planning is focused on limiting the damage from that outcome as far as it is possible to do so by taking prudent measures and practical steps on a range of key issues. Thank you.